He's got it.
I know, right?
You can't.
I think
You
he's
could move
like,
the chair
let
out of
this
the way
thing
and
finally hit some room.
bobbing over their elbow on me.
It's enormous. We should just get lazy boys up here. You know?
Like the movie theaters, right?
Yeah, right? The AMC, that's what it is. It's a big show here.
Absolutely.
Hi everyone, it's super awkward and quiet. How is everyone doing? This sounds really enthusiastic, so it's good to see you. Where is it?
Right
There,
behind you.
Right behind you.
We're waiting for
I hope so. If we could all rise, and we're going to do the pledge and then stay standing for a prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Lord, we ask you to shed light on our decisions that we're making tonight. Help us to discern the right way forward for the city, and always enlighten us in your ways. In your name we pray. Amen. I call this meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. As you notice, I am not Eric Zilka, the council president. I am Alderman at Large Bob Pecoraro. Eric is excused from the evening. So without further ado, Mr. Mayor, do you have any opening comments?
Nothing right now, thank you. I will do roll call.
Yep, please do.
Aldermans Tyler. Here. Ruby. Here. Ron.
Here.
Pecoraro.
Here.
Also present, Mayor Arthur G. Pappas and City Attorney Luke Brown.
Now, if anybody has any agenda item they would like to come up to the podium, please state your name and address. Just agenda items only.
Good evening, everyone. My
Good
name is
evening.
Sonia Duza. I'm glad you said agenda items only. On tonight's agenda, there's some good things there, quite a bit of grants. When I read the communications, granted, we're getting like 50% on, off on the price of different equipment, but it's quite a bit. I'm just wondering if we're stockpiling because hopefully we need the stuff. And I know one of the items.
Sonia, if I could just explain a few things on that. We've asked Mark Zellner, our superintendent of the Department of Public Works, to go ahead and put the grant applications in, and then once either they're approved or not approved, if they're approved, then we'll make a decision whether or not we're actually going to spend the funds for those projects. So we're only giving permission to apply for those grants right now, but not committing the money for it.
You know, I understand one of the items, $40,000. I thought it was 40,000. It's 80, but we'll be paying 40,000, and it's about doing work in the alleys. And as it was explained to me, I thought, you know, I remember decades ago I used to think, geez, these alleys look terrible, and it's long overdue.
Sonia, I can guarantee that one, if we do get the grant, that one will be purchased. There is money in his budget to purchase that item.
No, those alleyways, thank you. Those alleyways need to be addressed, and where there are violations, illegalities in alleyways, they should forthwith, Mr. Luke, forthwith be addressed. Maybe you know already what I'm talking about, Mayor, I think you may know. And there were two items I remember it being used for. I know Brad Raleigh, he said to me that street sweeper we have recently gotten $250,000. I said, whoa. And I understand it's doing a good job, but I remember it was to be a street sweeper. My understanding, it's helping when the city is doing the repaving, they're using that machine, it picks up the final material. But I'm thinking, that was not the main reason for getting it. And I'll bet you that brushes, if you're gonna replace it, it's gonna be very costly. The other item is this. We need street sweeping throughout the city. A resident who also has a home in Winston-Salem in North Carolina, he was aghast how crummy Oliver Street, the weeds, things, the curbs, the terraces, and, you know, he was right on the money. Bottom line is, when we have a street sweeper, but I don't see it on my street, and believe me, my street needs it. We had 203, new paving, the whole thing done, and Tuesday night, about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, you could hear the street sweeper going. I don't hear that anymore for a few years. And then when I heard we're having the new street sweeper gotten, I thought, great. But
2 minutes,
we're not
Sonia.
seeing it. And we need it all over. You know, the side streets, Oliver Street, Payne Avenue. When I park my car every Sunday on Oliver, my God, where's that street sweeper?
Sonia, if I could just say, Winston-Salem has nothing over North Tonawanda. Have you ever been there? The place is a dump.
I hadn't, but when I attended a conference at UB, I don't know, 90s, the head of Empire Developments, because I remarked to him about how they're moving along, he said, Sonia, what they are doing now is what we did in the 1929s, what have you. The thing is, you ought to check it out. They give awards for areas where it's maintained and what have you. It's altogether different. There's diversity. My cousin's husband is from Hawaii. When they moved there, only because in order to keep his job with the airlines, he had to be there. So they have a home here they maintain, and he was elected. He lived there two years, maybe no more than 3. He was on the Common Council.
You got a
Very
minute,
diverse.
Sonia.
I learned quite a bit about that community. And as the head of Empire Development said to me, and some other people, now they have big corporations living there, so they've got an influx of money coming to them. And I know Albany has been helping us out in the state, but we can always do better. The point is that I'd like to see the equipment used for not just one thing. Thank you.
No, thanks,
Thank you,
Sonia.
Sonia.
I appreciate your comments on that, and please, don't make it a part of the public record that I called Winston-Salem a dump, because I have relatives that live there, and I could only get in trouble because of it. Would anyone else like to make any comments on the agenda and the agenda items only for this evening? Yes, ma'am. Come up to the microphone and state your name and address.
I'm Kathy Benzik, and I live on Rury Road, 1024 Rury Road. And this is the first time I've ever attended one of your meetings.
Welcome.
And I assume that the agenda means if we're talking about the pool area, that
No.
we're gonna, oh,
Yeah,
that's
No,
that'll
not.
be
that's,
right after.
that's the
Okay,
meeting.
So stick around.
The
Okay.
meet,
Sure
the
we
meeting
do.
is afterwards, after the agenda, where we're gonna roll right into the pool
Right.
feasibility
But when I
study.
saw, yeah, so
Yeah.
you're gonna discuss that
Yes.
out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
You will, and then we can discuss it.
yes,
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
absolutely.
All right,
Thank you for coming.
I'll be out there too.
Great. Would anyone else like to discuss the agenda items and the agenda items only, please? Seeing none, let's go ahead and roll the agenda, please.
I have approval of the minutes of the regular session, September 4th, 2018.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro,
I'll second.
second by Alderman Berube.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Proof of publication published 8/23/2018. Legal notice, invitation for bids for the Sweeney Canal Boat Dock Extension, City Engineer. Proof of publication published 9/3/2018 and 9/10/2018. Legal notice, collector's notice of payment of the 2018-19 school taxes, City Clerk Treasurer. Proof of publication published 9/8/2018. Legal notice, public design workshop for Memorial Pool feasibility study, City Engineer. Proof of publication published 9/10/2018. Legal notice, invitation for bids for ferric chloride system replacement at the wastewater treatment plant, Superintendent of Wastewater Water. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to receive and file.
Moved by Alderman Berube,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Tyler.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Communications from city officials, clerk treasurer regarding removal of 858 Fairmont Avenue from the appropriate in-rem foreclosure proceedings.
I'd like to make the motion that we remove 858 Fairmont Avenue.
I'll
Moved by
second.
Alderman Pecoraro, seconded by Alderman Braun.
We'll do a roll call on this.
Alderman Tyler,
Aye.
Berube,
Aye.
Braun,
Aye.
Pecoraro.
Aye. Motion's carried.
From the superintendent of wastewater water regarding permission to attend the confined space train the trainer program in Syracuse.
I'm gonna make the motion that we table this for the time being and bring in Mr. Davignon into the work session on Tuesday to explain the justification behind him attending the training.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro. Do I have a second? Seconded by Alderman Braun.
All in favor for tabling this signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
And from the superintendent of public works regarding permission to apply for a grant for the dormitory authority of the state of New York program for the purchase of a mini paver project ID number 14330.
I'll make,
And this is only for approval for the grant.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Alderman Berube,
I'll second it.
seconded by Alderman Tyler.
Do a roll call on this, please.
Alderman Tyler,
Aye.
Berube,
Aye.
Braun,
Aye.
Pecoraro.
Aye. Motion's carried.
From the superintendent of public works regarding permission to apply for a grant for the DEC municipal wastewater reduction recycling program for the city of North Tonawanda, 2018 Morbark Beaver Chipper with Loader Arm Project.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro,
Second.
seconded by Alderman Braun.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Tyler,
Aye.
Berube,
Aye.
Braun,
Aye.
Pecoraro.
Aye. Motion carried.
From the superintendent of public works regarding permission to apply for a grant for the DEC municipal waste reduction and recycling program for the city of North Tonawanda, 2018 recycling container project.
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Alderman Braun,
I'll second.
seconded by Alderman Berube.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Tyler,
Aye.
Berube,
Aye.
Braun,
Aye.
Pecoraro.
Aye. Motion carried.
From the city accountant regarding payment of the abstract of claims dated September 18th, 2018.
I'll make the motion that we approve the abstract.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro,
I'll second.
seconded by Alderman Braun.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Tyler,
Aye.
Berube,
Aye.
Braun,
Aye.
Pecoraro.
Aye. Motion carried.
Monthly reports, city clerk treasurer, senior citizen center, police department.
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Alderman Tyler,
I'll second.
seconded by Alderman Berube.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Communications from others. Karen Smith regarding permission to have a block party on Sweeney Court, September 23rd, 2018.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Moved by Alderman Braun, seconded by Alderman Pecoraro.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
From Bill Cowell regarding permission to place a sign at the Gradwick entrance on Whitmer Road to advertise a charity event at the Riviera Theater.
I'd like to make the motion that we accept this request. However, that whatever areas he wants to put a sign has to be within the legalities of where he can place a sign. in the city.
Moved by Alderman Pecoraro, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Alderman Braun.
Let's do a roll call on this.
Alderman Tyler.
Aye.
Berube.
Aye.
Braun.
Aye.
Pecoraro.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the part where you can talk about any other city business that you would like to discuss, regardless of the full discussion later. So if you have any city issue you'd like to bring up to us, please come to the microphone, state your name and address, please.
Good evening, Kathy Kern,
Good evening, Kathy.
1248 Greenbrier. I've been off the grid for almost a year. I finally got my life back. I've been a reader of the Buffalo News for most of my life and the Niagara Gazette for over 30 years. Plus, I subscribe to Business First. Yes, I'm a news junkie. During the meet and greet that I attended at the Niagara Gazette last year, I talked with the editor and other staff members with the same question. No one had an answer. They would get back to me. Well, I forgot because I was handling some other things. My question was that in the Niagara Gazette, which I've been reading every day for 30, well, except Tuesdays, for 30 years, the Niagara Gazette publishes pages of notices for delinquent water bills, delinquent property taxes, and foreclosures for every city, town, and village in Niagara County. Sometimes it's 3 full pages back and front. However, North Tonawanda is never listed. When a representative of the Niagara Gazette called back and stated that it must be published somewhere because it's a matter of public record, nowhere are these notices published. Is it lack of transparency? I don't know. Why aren't these notices published? North Tonawanda is a city. It is in Niagara County, and this information is published for every other city, town, and village of Niagara County, but nothing about North Tonawanda. Plus, there are also no real estate transactions for the entire county published anywhere. The last thing that kind of really got to me about things not being in the newspaper was I didn't know about the burglaries and the robberies that occurred down the street from me. That was not published in the newspaper until someone brought it up at the Common Council meeting. And the Common Council meetings are obviously, highlights are in the Niagara Gazette. So I want to know why we're, as a city, not part of these publications that appear in the Niagara Gazette. No one at the Gazette could give me an answer either. And I says, well, they're not in the Lockport Union Sun, they're not in the Buffalo News, they're not in the Tribune, they're nowhere. Is there a reason why this city is not included in these publication listings of delinquent payments for water bills and property taxes and foreclosures? That's my question.
So, Dan?
So you're talking about city foreclosures? Because when we do
Is the microphone
the city foreclosures, they are published. They're published in the Buffalo News and the Gazette.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, when you get the Gazette, you've got page after page after page of these listings for delinquent pays. Every city, town, and village is in there but North Tonawanda.
Is it when they're foreclosing on the property
No,
or
there's-
every,
No,
how often is it in there?
Several times a year, you'll have the first listing will be delinquent water bills. And then the next one will be delinquent property taxes, which then lead to the foreclosure notices.
Okay.
And it just jumps out at me that we're a city and a county, but we're never in the listings.
Well, when we are foreclosing on our property, we do publish the delinquent taxes.
That I
and-
know, but
Okay.
like I said, when you see this listing every quarter or twice a year, whatever it comes out, it just strikes me as odd that our city is not ever
Kathy, next
part of
time you see it in the paper, bring it in. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
in Niagara Gazette.
I don't know if it's something where they're just calling those
Yeah,
properties out as a means to like, okay, now pay it because it's public and it's embarrassing, or, you know, I don't know.
yeah, let us bring it in so I can see it, Luke can see it, we can then find out why and what
Hmm?
it's referring to.
Because when we do foreclose on a property, we
Oh, I know
do
the
put
foreclosures
the
are there,
public
yeah.
notices.
But leading up to that,
Right.
nothing is ever in there about this city, so
Mhm.
it just, maybe you don't wanna be a part of it, maybe that's it. Nobody at the Niagara Gazette can give me an answer either. So,
As far as the real estate, the Buffalo
Yeah.
News used to publish
No
Niagara
more.
County.
no
It
more.
doesn't anymore. That's individual, their call, whether or not they want to publish
Okay.
the Niagara County real estate listings or not.
That would be nice to be somewhere, even if it's in the Sun, to see what the property values are. That would be nice, but anyway, just something that's been bugging me, and here I am.
Thank you, Kathy.
Okay, you're welcome.
Would anyone else like to speak on any city issue? Please come to the microphone and state your name and address.
Thank you so much. Sonia Duza, 125 Miller Street. Kathy touched on something that I've been aware of for some time. If you ever look, the Gazette has Pendleton, Cambria, Niagara Falls, in Rem. The Tonawanda News used to publish this, and I thought, what's happening? Why don't we have this? You know, you can find out who, people you know or you don't know, what properties are in Rem. And you sort of can gauge what's happening with the ability to pay, what have you. Her point is so well taken. And the previous speaker is touching on something that really, it's beyond bugging, it's maddening. It makes me suspicious, and I don't like to be suspicious, but when you have so much, hey, you got cancer, you gotta face it. We gotta face this municipality. A lot of times doesn't have things out for the people to know about. For example, I'm sure you heard, I was on the website, and I know it's the third Tuesday, I'm expecting to see the meeting and the agenda. I know the pool is afterwards, that information session, that's there, but on the agenda, it's not saying that there's a meeting, and when you see the meeting, you can click and you get the agenda right away. I appreciate that. Well, it wasn't today. I called Dan's office, he was out. To make it short, nobody in the office could help me. I called then the mayor's office, Ashley said, leave a message. Hey, that wasn't helping me, I wanna find out if there's a meeting later today. Then I called again, I spoke with Lori, she says, I'll email it to you. I says, that's great, but I says, other people, they shouldn't have to call you and say, I wanna know if there's a meeting and what the agenda is. That's bad, that's the opposite. I sent an email, you got it, Dan. And in essence, I said, you know, this, here it is. Question, where is the no. That's an item that is also what Kathy's talking about. We need information. Also, when I was looking at the website, I was looking for the video in the minutes of last month. And I think maybe 5 days, more or less, after last meeting, I was looking for the minutes, and the video wasn't there. Today, the same thing. So I email comment or questions. Question, where is the September 4th, 2018 video and minutes of North Tonawanda Common Council regular meeting? Question, not available 5 days after meeting, and now 9/18/2018, 14 days. 2 weeks later, still video and minutes not on municipality's website for reading, hearing. This is the extreme of no transparency. You know, many of you, I mean, some people in the audience, they know how I've been remarking on planning and zoning and information coming out. Well, last week, when I looked at your calendar, I forget what day, but it had Lumberjack Development Corporation, I clicked that and then, I clicked something else and then it showed minutes. I went to the minutes. The minutes are from 2013 to 2018. As I read those, my blood was boiling. I thought, relax, relax. It evidences
You got a
the
minute, Sonia.
complaints I have made about citizen participation. If anyone looks at Lumberjack Development Corporation, maybe Mission or Home, keep looking at that site. Look for the archives. When you read the minutes, it's really a tight group that's controlling. You don't have to be a lawyer, a planner to know, boy, they keep everything quiet.
Sonia, are you
secretive.
referring to LCDC, the Lumber Development Corporation?
LC,
Okay, not
the
Lumberjack,
minutes are there.
okay,
And it's, I believe, I can't swear to it,
right.
but as I can recall, and believe me, if it was there, I would have addressed what I read on there.
So-
When
so-
you read it, you will learn how they have been doing planning and zoning and different developments amongst themselves, and Mrs. Braun is part of that.
Thank
Mayor
you, Sonia.
Patmos. We don't hear all the things that are happening, and if you read the minutes, they're not even that detailed.
For
But you
the
know-
LCDC, you're saying, right? Are you saying for the
The Lumber City.
Lumber City Development Corporation? You're saying that, well, so they
The minutes.
are a board in themselves, so, I could send those comments to them if you'd like and just say maybe more detailed
I have a
minutes,
meeting tomorrow.
right?
I will take them back
And
to the board of directors.
Never. Am I correct? I do not see where they show they're having the meeting and people are invited. We should be able to listen to the deliberations. I don't ever recall, because I would be attending those meetings. I don't have enough time,
Mhm.
but I did make copies of that, and I will pass it on to other people, appropriate people. But this is a crime where they are, and I said for several years now, behind, in the back, behind the scenes, they're doing a zoning ordinance, and when you read the minutes, you will find they've already put it together.
Thank
This
you,
is
Sonia.
absolutely
Sonia.
wrong.
Yeah, thank you.
This is not transparency, it's the opposite. And you should be exposed, and people should know about it, and you should make amends, you should stop what you're doing.
Sonia,
Thank you,
so
Sonia.
just to follow back to your one comment about the videos, that, so as you know, the videos are a new thing, relatively new.
That's a still
Right.
thing.
It's a start, right? It's a start to something bigger. But,
Yes, it is a start.
legally, we do abide by the rules of the minutes where they have to be published by a certain amount of time after we have a meeting, but that's the requirement. The video is, to some degree, if you read the rules, sort of an extra. It's that extra sort of step you can take that isn't binding, like any municipality doesn't have to do it. It's a great thing to do, and we should do it, we should promote that in every municipality, but, so I think it's just sort of like getting the swing of it by making sure it's, every week or a week after, 5 days after we have a meeting that is posted, and Dan's doing the best he can with us, saying, Dan, come on, let's get those minutes, right? He's sweating over here, look at him, so.
We
So I-
got it, Sonia, thank you.
So, yeah, we'll keep up on it a little quicker.
Mr. Tyler, the town of Amherst has been doing that for decades.
Right.
That's considered
Yeah.
so basic. Another thing is.
Okay,
Sonia,
that's
thank
it, Sonia,
Very,
thank
very
you.
briefly, quickly, with respect to the, having in the paper, the internet, what we need, it occurred to me, years ago, we had George Maziarz and, I forget his name at this moment. There were two people, one Democrat and one Republican, in the common council. I thought, why is that? Then years later, I learned because each other didn't trust each other.
Sonia,
and
I'm
putting
sorry,
themselves
your
out.
time
For
is
that
up.
reason, I'm calling to have two people, a Democrat and a Republican, make it one They're both part-time, working together, so we can have things out in the open.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Bauer.
Good evening. My name is Carl Bauer. I live at 1066 East Robinson Street. And I'm trying to keep my composure. Sorry, guys, ladies. When we came into the meeting, my wife was with me this evening, I noticed, Dan, you turned the clock on.
Yes.
Why don't we use it?
I hate it.
I'm
be
figuring out the
honest,
best way
Carl,
to location and how to best work it.
destroy it.
So,
Okay, I was just wondering what the rules and regs are concerning that.
There's no,
I mean,
there's
you've
no
got a
rule
room
for
full
5
of,
minutes.
excuse me, Austin, I'm sorry. You got a room full of impatient people here and you got a clock and I thought, we were supposed to be using it, that's all. I'm
Thank
good
you,
with it.
thank you for your comments, I appreciate it. Ms. Barrett, welcome.
thank you, Mr. Bauer.
My name is Barbara Barrett. I live at 780 Castle Bar. And I'm up here to praise you guys. You're all doing a great job. And I know she said about the street cleanup, but at my street, not this year so bad because I have my back's been bugging me. But I always clean the street in front of my house because I don't want weeds growing up in front of my house because my house doesn't look as good, right? And I forgot what else I was coming senior moment. But anyways, the garden. I do Meals and Wheels. Right knows. I just got someone on Summer Street, and I never knew you had that garden there. You know, I think it's a fantastic idea. It would look so great. So I am really praising all you guys. And the reason I think we don't have the street cleaners so much is because we're too busy patching all the streets. You're doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett, appreciate it.
Kamick, 384 Robinson Street, North Tonawanda. Tonight I'm here for the Oliver Street Merchants Association. As you know, they've installed the dog bag receptacles with Project Pride on Oliver Street. And their members, a lot of them have businesses to run. I'm just a social member of the organization. I try and help out where they can. But they've been trying to, keep up with emptying those, and they would like to request that the city at least have a conversation with the DPW about assisting the organization in helping keeping those empty. So if you guys could potentially have the DPW reach out to Amy Cilio, who is the current president of the Oliver Street Merchants Association, we'd greatly appreciate that.
Well, you have the vice president of the Oliver
So-
Street Merchants Association and the Common
Well, let
Council.
me follow up. So Donna and myself,
We're both there at the meeting
yeah,
last
we were
night.
there last night and we had the same discussion with them, and it's a discussion now we have to have with the city, really.
Yes, definitely.
So,
Because there's still logistics to work out.
there's always
As
that
far as
missing
the
piece, right?
receptacles.
There's always logistics.
Yes.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else on city business and city business only, please come to the microphone, state your name and address.
My name's Del Mosier, 240 East Ave. When I was a kid, you guys used to have ice rinks. I guess the DPW or rec department would fill up back here behind Grant School. Main Park had ice rinks filled. I'm sure other locations throughout the city. I didn't see them last year. I didn't see them the year before. I'm trying to figure out what happened with those. You guys still have the signs up that they're lit for ice rinks, but they're not actually done. I'm wondering if that's ever going to happen again.
So
I think it's a liability issue, isn't it,
Well,
Lynn? That city
I
liability.
wanted to start to have that conversation actually, and now that we have Alex in the back there, new department head.
From my understanding, past years, we did set it up, but the ground freeze wasn't to the satisfaction of the ice rink, so we filled it up numerous times and essentially wasted water.
Gotta be cold.
Okay,
So we had two locations, Payne and, I believe, might find the other one. But they were in place and filled twice, and they just didn't hold to the temperature, so.
Okay.
Something we will do again this summer, or this winter.
so there are, if I could make a recommendation, there are, I guess, kits, you could say, that are sold online, right? And it's essentially a giant tarp, and it's got, you can use 2x4s, but they have things that'll hold it up and it'll fill, so it won't leach into the ground, right? And then that kind of leads into my other comment, or Yeah, I would say comment. So you've got tennis courts all throughout the city. You've got baseball fields all throughout the city. You've got basketball courts all throughout the city. You don't have anything for hockey, right? You don't have any type of street hockey or roller hockey type thing. Kids have been told not to play hockey in the streets because they could get hit by cars. They're not allowed to play in parking lots because it's I would assume it's an insurance liability or whatever the case is, right? City of Tonawanda has Ives Park. Cheektowaga has their own fenced-in court. I do know that at least a few of the tennis courts that are across the street from the old Lowry School aren't really used as much and could possibly be converted into a hockey court or what may be. So I'm just wondering if that could ever be a possibility. And because I noticed that we have built new parks or new fields and courts and stuff like that. So that would be
Right.
it.
Yeah, no, good comments, Al, so we'll keep you posted on it.
My concern though is still liability and what the city's liable for. So if there's a way around it and we can do that, we'll take a look at it. Thank you. Any other comments on the good of the city? Seeing that there are none, I'll go to final. Yes, please do.
I forgot.
That's all right. Did John remind you?
No, because he forgets to. You're talking about the pool, and my husband put that slide up. That was, I think, was it 18? I don't want to go too far back, I go too old. But he put that slide up, and I was wondering, are you going to take the pool down, or is that a different time of discussion?
That's after this meeting.
Oh, is it?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. Okay, with that, we'll go to closing comments with the council. And we'll start over with Alderman at Large Austin Tyler.
Hi, everyone. I don't have too much to talk about. I'm excited for this study, actually, after I hope a lot of you are here for it. Some might know, and I've said it before, is my great-grandpa, Pop Ramsey, was a big part in the creation of the park system and memorial pool. So I'm excited to see some of the ideas you guys have as well. This is part of my day-to-day job too, so I think it'll be a great conversation. So feel free to come up and give me your ideas and we'll create a dialogue, so it's exciting. And on a sort of sad note, I would like a moment of silence. A friend of mine from high school, she has recently passed away. It's really not fair when young people pass away. It's, she could have a long life ahead of her and she was very energetic, so if everyone could give me just five seconds of silence. So again, thank you. Thank you for coming, everyone.
Thank you very much, Alderman Tyler. And we'll go to the first ward Alderman, Mark Berube.
Nothing at this point. I think most of the people are here for the pool, so we'll get there quickly.
Second ward Alderwoman, Donna Braun.
Thank you. I agree with Mark. A lot of people are here to listen to the pool discussion and see what we have out in the hall. And if there is any students here tonight to get their papers signed, you can come up as soon as we adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. City Attorney Luke Brown. City Treasurer Dan Quinn.
The only thing I'm gonna say is I'd just like to remind the residents, pass it on to those who you might know that go to the farmer's market, that there are no dogs allowed. We have a dog control officer, and he will be there from time to time. You will not know, he will be writing citations if you show up with your dog.
Is it a warning or a fine right off the
No,
bat?
it's a trip to the court.
Okay, so it's an inconvenience.
You got it.
Thank you, Dan. Mr. Mayor.
For the sake of time, nothing.
Okay, so I'm gonna fill your time. I've got 4 items I'd like to discuss with you. The Hub for Services, to bring services to the residents of North Tonawanda, is taking place tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 to 12, our regular hub of services at Redeemer Lutheran Church. And then from 12 to 1:30, our Claro. Those people that have debt, legal problems, they'll be there to advise you on that. So that's the Hub for Services tomorrow. Now, who doesn't like a free breakfast? Friday morning at Payne's Restaurant between 6 and 12, or 6 and 10 in the morning, WYRK is doing a live feed from Payne's Restaurant. So I'd ask you all to show up and show them your pride of the city of North Tonawanda. And Liz Mantell in the morning show is gonna be there broadcasting live from Payne's Restaurant. It's a great thing for you. It'll be wonderful. And a buffet breakfast is gonna be available, provided by Payne's Restaurant for free. The last thing is the Botanical Garden cleanup went well this past Saturday. We had over 70 volunteers contributing to about 6 big projects they have done over there. And the River Keepers and the Rotary and the Botanical Garden Organization really appreciate all the support that the residents are providing for that. If you haven't been to the Botanical Garden in a while, get out there, see the great work they're doing. They're really bringing it back, and they're bringing it back fast. With that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
And before we do, Mr. Lukasik.
Yes, when I say that your wife is doing a terrific job at the Botanical Gardens,
You can, but she would not like you to say that.
well, I wanna say it because that's a big, big improvement.
It is.
And she made a good presentation at our Exchange Club.
Yeah.
I was very
Thank you.
impressed with that.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you very much for coming this evening.
Good job,
Yes, absolutely.
Any kids?
Leading the charge.
Hi there. My name is Nancy. I am with Branch Center Carroll